Rather than ask for a job, create a job. Rather than ask for someone to be your friend, create an experience worth coming to. Create a reason that somebody wants to connect with you. I wanted to share an experience that came about through several years. I came across this book. It was called The Power of Progressive Partnerships by a man named Caleb Lang. I was so impressed by this book because I just thought the way that he put into words the power of partnerships on business was so brilliant, because it's basically relationships influence how to be a person of influence by creating relationships and becoming more influential yourself, and how a lot of that is not tangible or there's no direct ROI. And remember, I printed the PDF off. I still have it pinned in my office. And fast forward years, randomly start getting email newsletters from his company. I remember opening the first couple of newsletters and being like, I can't unsubscribe. I love his topics. He's now talking more about executives getting on boards and getting investors and all these kind of things. But this concept is still the same. How do you grow? How do you become more influential? How do you build relationships? How do you create connections when you don't have them? So I wrote the company an email back and I just said, hi, this is Amanda and I love your work. I read your book. It seems like you ventured into more investments and board roles, but there's a lot of synergy between our topics. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing and if I could possibly audit or take the course. He writes back within a day and says, super busy, haven't even thought about that. But hey, I just looked on your LinkedIn. Looks like you're in Austin. I'm going to be in Austin next month. We're hosting a conference there. And sure enough, he was in Austin this past weekend for his conference. And I went downtown to meet him for coffee. And I asked him, what are all the things you're working on? Where are the challenges? Where would you like to grow? Where are the challenges? Where would I like to grow? And perhaps it's worth a conversation. Keep each other in mind for ways to support each other. And I was asking a little bit about one of the big takeaways that I was very tangible and impressed with. Was I said, so explain to me how you can guarantee people that take this, how to get on executive boards, committees, how do you guarantee that? And how does that work? Because you can't really guarantee someone on boards. He had a really strong point. He said, well, what we do is we work with many different businesses, including small companies. So they offer to help these small to medium startups create a board. That, or ones of medium sizes that already have a board, they offer to create an auditing board, meaning like a board and training. But they say we have a very diverse selection of students that are going to be very valuable. The expectations are low. They will do the work that no board member wants to do. So they create these boards, and it's kind of like that leapfrog effect, right, of influence, which is it's really hard to get a board position if you don't already have a board position. So by creating it, they don't ever ask for a job or a board option. They just create and put people on these boards where it's helping everyone. The company wins, the people win. There's not a lot of risk. And by nature, it's like, I remember when I wanted to get into speaking, they told me, well, I needed experience, give me some recordings of your experience. And I thought, well, I don't have any experience. So I remember my apartment complex basement laundry area. And so I just hosted this lecture on marketing and invited friends of mine that I knew. And there I was. Oh my gosh, I wish I had pictures of it, where it was literally just me in this apartment basement. Very nervous as it came about too, with a bunch of friends that were just there to support me. I had no idea what I was doing, but now I have experience. And now I spoke on marketing. Now I did a keynote. No one has to know that it was this big stage of 100,000 or if it was your living room, right? So this kind of leapfrog effect. And that's something I really got from Caleb. I wanted to share with you because sometimes it's just easier to just share an experience and start thinking about ways you can do that in your own life. And I love the way he did it for board roles, but it really applies to everything in life. Rather than ask for a job, create a job. Rather than ask for someone to be your friend, create an experience worth coming to. Create a reason that somebody wants to connect with you that's genuine and authentic and not an ask. Whenever you put yourself into a position where you are asking for something, it feels desperate. It feels needy. When you flip the script, you are confident in the work that you're doing. People feel that. They attract that. Energy is a really big thing. And that's how you become a person of influence. And I will end with this. To become a person of influence, and you want to kind of audit, who do you want to be influential? What kind of decisions do you want to influence? What kind of market, what kind of thought, what kind of behavior? And then we'll talk a little bit more about how do you grow your person of influence status. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Think about the relationships you've had in your life that you can't put an ROI on, but have been priceless. You took interest in some random guy sitting on a plane next to you's dog who was sick and ended up 20 years later, still friends, and then maybe you had a joint venture on something. The stories are incredible when you start to actually think that most of the world operates on building a mutual trust, influence, and relationships.